at the beginning they never do it. So I just say, okay, can you form some groups? And they just stay where they were at the beginning, you know? So I had to really go there and physically take them and say, okay, you three, you create a circle. You four, you create a circle. So it was really time consuming.
It is, except that, so in math and physics classes, it's a standard to work in groups.
Okay.
And I think the reason why it's a standard is because when we tell them, the very first discussion section that we have with them is we tell them, okay, you're going to be working in groups. So they know that that's what they're expected to do in class. So the very first minute when you see them, you know, after you introduce yourself, you tell them, okay, we're going to be working in groups.
Okay. That's quite different because in our case, sometimes they work alone, sometimes they have to work in groups. It's nice when you give them assignments, to take-home assignments, and you say, okay, you have to work in group and create, I don't know, like for example, in Second Life, an online exhibition. In that case, they had to do it, they understand that it's what they have to. But in class is more difficult, at least this is my experience.
I find that a lot of times when I give an instruction and I don't see anybody really moving, that it's because they're not sure what I'm really asking. So rather than say get in groups, because then you're like, well, how many and what size? If you go, I want you in groups of 3, I want a group here, a group there, a group there, a group there, and give them a little bit more instruction of exactly what you want, I think you'll find that they'll move a little faster.
Yes.
And
Well, you know, I mean, but
it's
it's
really
not
what
that it's
they
just
need
not,
to-
they're sitting there kind of like going, okay, we're supposed to work in groups, how many, where, you know, usually it's more information.
And the other thing is also, we always work in groups, and they were sitting in groups when they were doing these things. You know, it doesn't mean that if you pair them up in groups, they still can't work by themselves. It's just that you don't let them talk to each other.
Yeah, because another point is then you form the groups and you see that somebody continues to just work alone.
That always happens.
Yeah,
It
and
always happens, and then what you can do is that you can switch around groups.
yeah, and so every time I
Yeah.
have to change.